the most the black people have ever done. They did it here in America under white people's help. When they were in Africa, they didn't do nothing. Nigeria produces oil every year, yet the children over there are hungry and pot-bellied and walking barefoot. We got a problem. We got a problem.
Wagwan kings and queens from Africa and across the ocean. Do you know that I have much love and respect to you? Whether negative comments or positive, you have a special place in my heart. And that's why I thank you so much for joining my commentary today. So today I need to talk about something serious here. There's a black pastor I came across his video. It's an old video, but what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to react about, it's happening up to now. It's a current thing, current topic from an old video. If you have seen this video before, just relax, listen to my commentary. Now, a pastor stood before his congregation and spoke words that shook many people. And I need to bring this in your attention because it's thinking that has been used for generations to keep our people down. I have my own reaction on this video. I want you to watch this clip first. I want you to watch this video first. Because for a long time, black people around the world, whether from Africa, from Europe, Caribbean, we have been thinking or been taught to keep ourselves down, to shame us, to convince us that without white colonizer, without white intervention, black people are nothing. Okay? And we need to deal with that lie today. I don't know what you'll think after watching this video because you have your own thoughts. You have your own reaction. I want to see on the comment section. I know we'll differ with some people, but again, we will come together with others. Let's watch this clip. Let's watch this clip first and then we continue.
Here, and I'm not going to be much longer with y'all. I understand we need to move beyond color. I'm not about that, but y'all raised it. If you start it, I'll end it for you. Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. But we got a problem. Black people got a problem. Now we can move to color blindness and always look at the man by the content of his character, never the color of his skin. I'm down for that. You get my vote. Yay and amen. I'm for that. But before we get there, we need to hear some truth. Black people and white folk. Black people got a problem. And it's a God problem. When black people see the world, I don't care. You can train them. You can train a black man to be a physician. You can train him to be an astrophysicist. You can train him to be a lawyer, but you can't train him to understand the world. He doesn't know. I'm telling you. There's not 2 cents worth of difference between a mass murderer. There's not 2 cents of difference between a petty thief that's locked away in prison than a black doctor when it comes to understanding the world. Listen, you listen to me. We got to deal with this. And we need to begin to acknowledge it, talk about it, ask God to help us because only God can help black people where they are. Black people had Africa, that big old continent over there. They never built one boat that was seaworthy. Not one. There's not one monument in Africa, in all of Africa. I know you're talking about Egypt. Egypt is not Africa. There are no great cities that were built. Even before the first colonization of white people coming to the shores of Africa or the slave ships, black men built nothing. No sewer system, no houses above one level, and none of them made out of stone, all of them made out of grass and wood. Black men, before the white man ever got to Africa. The worst thing that could ever happen to South Africa was when they gave it to Nelson Mandela and black folk. That was a great nation. Now, notwithstanding apartheid was wrong, we all know it's wrong. I'm against it. There should have been some other resolution, though, than turning it over to Nelson Mandela. Disease, AIDS, and crime is running wild in Johannesburg. They're killing one another over there. They're dying of sickness. The government is mismanaged. The people who ran the nation are now leaving the nation because black folk don't know how to run no nation. And we need to admit it. I know you don't like it, but you need to stop shucking and jiving. We got a problem. Nigeria produces oil every year, yet the children over there are hungry and pot-bellied and walking barefoot. We got a problem. You talk about the Hutus and the Tutsis. Look what's going on in Zimbabwe now with Mugabe. We got a problem, black folk. And forget about Zimbabwe and South Africa, Nigeria. Look at what y'all have done in Harlem. You can't even hold on to Harlem. We got a problem. Black folk don't understand the world. You can get mad with me all you want. You can say what you, but you can't prove me wrong. Now, I'm not saying this because I hate black folk. I'm saying it because I love you enough to tell the truth. And the only person going to ever help us get out of the situation is going to be God. There's something wrong with the black man's mind. There's something wrong with his mind. He does not understand the world. He doesn't. I don't care if he learned medicine. He doesn't understand the world. He can't even hold on to Harlem. When he was here, he moved out. We got to talk to the Lord. People, we got to talk to God. And black women, Shirley Chisholm, Harriet Tubman, Coretta King, one of her boys. Yeah, okay, then we got a black president. But you black women, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all gonna let that white woman, what's wrong with you black women voting for Barack? Don't you understand? It should have been a black womb if you're gonna have a black president. What's wrong with you? Y'all ain't got no sense, you black women. Your men treat you like the dogs, like your dogs. They walk all over you. They make you pay the bills at home, and then the preachers pimp you in the churches and make you pay the bills. Y'all crazy black women buying these black men private jets, the tune of $50 million for a nigga to ride around in a private jet. And you talk about, look at our pastor. What's wrong with y'all women? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And what's wrong with a black man that would take that kind of money out of a poor neighborhood and buy himself a private jet? What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, black women? What's wrong with you voting for Barack Obama? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy. Black people, let me tell y'all something. If you don't ever hear me say preach again, they can kill me tomorrow. But let me tell you something. We're not going to ever get anywhere until we look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a doctor. He can be an astrophysicist. The nigga ain't got no sense. You talk to him. You talk to a black man. He doesn't understand the world. He's never built anything. The most the black people have ever done, they did it here in America under white people's help. When they were in Africa, they didn't do nothing. What's wrong with the black man? He, under the curse, he's not equal to the white man. Now, I know about the Dred Scott decision. I know how painful that is. I know you've been said that you're not equal. I know that. I'm not saying that's listen. I have the resources, not a lot, but I don't have to live in Harlem. I don't have to listen to some woman cussing her man out at 3 o'clock in the morning while I'm trying to pray. I don't have to listen to the fire engines and the shooting. I don't have to watch the junkies. If Elizabeth happens to walk to the window in our living room and look out the window, there's a man standing between 2 cars peeing 2 gallons. And there's a woman downstairs down there, she's squatting and peeing. I don't have to live around that, you know. I go up there and live on Teddy Bear Lane or Cinderella Street. I could, but I'm here because I love the brethren. I educate, open up schools, take all kinds of abuse because I love the brethren. And I am a brother. People look at me, talking about this slavery here, this is NAACP, these pensioner Negroes, these Amos and Andy types, right? Ain't none of them ever been through what I've been, none of them. Ain't none of them. I heard this morning that John Lewis died, and they like to fashion him as a son of a sharecropper. Like somehow or another, he's the only one. Hell, I'm the son of a sharecropper. I picked more cotton. I picked enough cotton to make dresses and suits for everybody in Harlem, me and my family. Can't see the can't see. I was talking to Evangelist Brown the other day about outdoor toilets. Never had one in my house, never had an indoor plumbing or a telephone. Evangelist Brown said she went to an outdoor toilet down there in South Carolina where you do in an outhouse, and a snake was in there. She never went back. She went to the woods after that. These people, these Van Jones, these Michael Eric Dysons, these Liz Grandison, they don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about poverty. They don't know nothing about eating molasses and meat skin and biscuits, and that's all it is. They don't know nothing about eating huckleberries and biscuits because there ain't nothing else to eat. They don't know nothing about that. Talk to me, talking about I ain't no black man. Tell me I don't know nothing about being a black man. They don't know nothing about that. They ain't never been beat by the police. They're talking about Jackson Memorial Hospital now being filled up with the COVID-19 patients. I spent 2 weeks in there with cracked ribs, broken teeth, concussion, beaten by the police, kicked for hours. They don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing. Don't talk to me. You don't know nothing about it. I've forgotten more about how to be a man than these damn fools you see on television with that pension nose.
Welcome back. The pastor said what he said, and it is his words, his ideas, his comments. Everyone has a free to comment on something or to say on something. He said black people got a problem. That you can train black person to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, even to be a scientist, but you can't train him to understand the world. Now, I don't want to go deeper on what he said. You have listened to that. But family, those were his words. And I know right now, your spirit might feel heavy on hearing this, or you must be in an agreement with his words. But for me, I think these are not words of empowerment. Those are not words of truth. Those are words of colonial programming spoken through a black man. But I believe this is an old video, and right now people are changing, and people have different views, and that's why I see more empowering videos from recent black pastors. But let's talk about this. Let's deal with this idea that black people don't understand the world. What is the world? What is that world we are talking about here? That world, it is the world of greed, exploitation, colonization, and oppression. Because if that is the world they say we don't understand, then thank God we don't understand that. If that is the world they are saying we don't understand as black people, thank you, Lord, we don't understand that. The so-called understanding of the world that Europe brought was nothing but theft, enslavement, and destruction. And they call it civilization. But that was organized crime on a global scale, according to me. This is my views. It's not black people's views. Before Europe came to Africa, black people already had systems. Before Europe came to Africa, black people already had cultures, languages, economics, and governance. We understood our world just fine. We understood the balance between nature and a man. We understood mathematics, astronomy, medicine, agriculture, and spirituality. We as black people understood how to build families and how to raise children with values, how to keep communities strong. We did not need Europe to tell us how to be human. We were already human before they even knew how to do some things. The second lie told is that Africa never built anything. Now, for example, long before Columbus even dreamed of crossing the ocean, Africans were already master sailors on the Nile River thousands of years ago. Our ancestors built boats that carried tons of goods. Papyrus boats of Egypt sailed the Mediterranean Sea. On a Swahili coast, great those carried African goods to Arabia, India, and even China. Archaeological evidence shows West Africa sailed the Atlantic long before Europeans. Mansa Abubakar II of Mali sent ships across the oceans before Columbus. We were doing business. We were building libraries. We had libraries. We had Great Zimbabwe. We were building. Okay? So how can anyone say that Africa never built anything? Only someone who have been fed lies will say Africans never built anything. Who built the pyramids? This pastor is talking about the monuments. The pyramids of Egypt, standing for thousands of years, are among the greatest monuments in human history, and they were African. Period. It wasn't built by even white people. They even don't fathom how this thing came to. This pastor is saying that Egypt is not Africa. Right there, what he's talking is a colonial trick. Europeans try to separate Egypt from Africa because Egypt is too great, because Egypt is too advanced. They are trying to separate that because Egypt is too sophisticated for their racist minds to accept that black people build it. Egypt is in Africa. The Nile flows from Africa. The people of ancient Kemet were African, and that history of Kemet, history of Africa, or history of Egypt belonged to us, black people. And beyond Egypt, we had the rock-hewn churches of Lalibels. Beyond Egypt, we had the great Zimbabwe ruins. Beyond Egypt, we had the Benin walls longer than the great walls of China. The libraries of Timbuktu holding thousands of manuscripts. How can anyone say that Africa never built monuments? And yet we have overwhelming evidence around the world, around the continent. You know? Pastor is saying about the cities, it's a lie too. Okay? The Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire, the Kingdom of Kush, the Kingdom of Congo, the Ashanti, the Great Zimbabwe Civilization, the Swahili city-states, all were thriving societies. Timbuktu was a center of learning that scholars visited from across the world. Benin City had streets lit with lamps before London did. So when someone stands on a podium and say Africa had no great cities, they are either lying or repeating lies they were taught. Yes. You know? And these lies exist because lies like this are not by accidents. It's because this is the key to their freedom. Without lies, no empires. These lies were created intentionally by colonizers to erase our history. And if they erase our past, they control our future. If they convince us that we came from nothing, that's we will believe that we are nothing. And that's why this pastor can stand before the congregation and say these words, because he was taught to them. That's why I think that is colonization of the mind. I think I've seen comments on the video where I got this, and I saw black people saying, yeah, we need to know reality, everything. The pastor is right. And I cannot say he's wrong. He's making some points. But let me tell you the truth, family. Black people are the first people of this earth. Okay? Science proves it. The oldest human remains are from Africa. And that means black people are the mothers and fathers of the humanity. Civilization began in Africa. Not Greece, not Rome, okay? Mathematics, medicine, astronomy, philosophy, all of these had Africans' roots before Europe even existed in history. So when someone tells you that Africa had nothing, remind them that Africa had everything. And everything they claim is theirs started with us. And that thinking is the danger of colonial religion, you know? When black leaders, black pastors, and educational people repeat colonial lies, they do more damage than colonizers. Because when the lie comes from your own, wow, it feels like truth. It feels like, yeah, being gaslighted. When it's being spoken from the pulpit, now that feels like the word of God. But this is not gospel, I think. That was not gospel. That is slavery in the mind. It is slavery of the mind. Okay? Family, I think let's not allow anyone, even black pastor, to tell you that you built nothing, okay? That you are nothing, that you need white people to be something. No. We must know that who we are. We must teach our children the truth. We must remember that before slavery and colonization, we were kings and queens, scientists, healers, inventors, and teachers. Okay? The pastor said black people have a problem, but in history, who has God been with more than us? Look at how we have survived slavery, colonization, and oppression. Look at how we are still here, still rising. You know, God is with us. So the real problem is not God abandoning black people. The real problem is white supremacy replacing God with lies. You know, and now some of our preacher preach lies as truth. So kings and queens, I'll say this. The truth is this, that Africa built the pyramids. Africa built Timbuktu. Africa built Benin. Okay? Africa built the great Zimbabwe. Africa built foundation of civilization. Africa built the world. So I say no to the pastor. According to me, I think he's very, very wrong. Okay? He's very wrong. Africa is everything. So I just say peace and love and respect to my all viewers. Stay proud. I'm waiting for your comments. Until next episode, peace out.